Hey, Zuber, we're headed towards the end of the year, and we know transactions are down. So, curious, where do you think the mortgages as well as mortgage rates are headed?
So I think when you talk about the mortgage industry, and we got to be really careful, I think there's two markets. There's the conventional market, which is dictated by the Treasury, the 10-year Treasury, and kind of resets every day. I think that's going to do what it does. I think net margins get a little bit skinnier. The spreads get a little bit better, like they've done most of the year, but really not meaningful. Where I think things are about to get interesting, and this is just like my spidey senses because I've been doing this for so long. I believe this is just a belief. Let me just set it up. I believe that there's a lot of Wall Street money that needs to be deployed by the end of the year. I believe the fact that the real estate market has been the slowest since 1995, and if you adjust for population, the slowest in 100 years, right? Maybe not 100, maybe 80 years, but slow. That just tells me that Wall Street's about to get aggressive. And what does that mean? That means that DSCR loans, at least for a small window, I'm not talking very long. In fact, I'm talking probably a month or less, are going to be better than conventional, probably meaningfully better than conventional on rate. And it would not shock me if we have some DSCR vendors getting so skinny on deals. I don't know. Should I say this? Oh, what the hell? I'll say it. My prediction is there's going to be more than one DSCR lender that gets sub 5.5 just because they have to deploy capital. Their bonuses rely on them. They've been starving because lack of transactions, and there's only one way to fix it: lower rates. So my guess, conventional, not much of anything, maybe just slightly better, but DSCR loans, at least for the next month, they're going to get really good. Is my current guess. What do you think?
I think you nailed it right on the head, and I think you might have had a little bit of inside news there that maybe a special birdie on Wall Street told you this yesterday or the day before. But from behind closed doors, what John and I are dealing with, that's 100% true. At least what we believe at this very moment. The reason being is, as everybody knows, the conforming conventional market, yes, will follow the 10-year Treasury, and we'll see rates go up and down, right? When
Yeah.
I say up and down, what we're tracking is kind of the par rate, meaning the average rate that the average consumer can get on a primary conventional 30-year fix without buying down any points,
Right.
right? Now, on average, this is just on average for DSCR loans in the last, I'd say, 3 months. Okay. Most DSCR lenders, outfits, their lowest rate that they had on the rate sheet was maybe 6.1 to 6.2. Okay,
Yeah.
that was just like that's as low as you can get. You might start there if you've got a, 60% loan to value rate in term,
Right.
745 down. You may now have to pay points. But with the amount of conversations John and I have had with a lot of our takeout partners, uh, in the next week, 2 weeks, maybe by Monday, maybe next Friday, I'm not exactly
Mm.
sure. We're gonna see about uh, I'm going to guess 70% of outfits that offer DSCR backed products, okay, their floor is going to drop to 5.3 or 5.5.
Wow. Nailed it.
You nailed it
Yeah.
on the head. Now
Yeah.
that's
That's
massive,
crazy. That's
okay? That's
massive.
not like,
That's
yeah, you don't just do that. The market isn't allowing that on a conventional loan where it's like, hey,
no,
it's 6.4 and then tomorrow it's 5.7, just
no,
overnight,
no,
right?
not
But that's
happening.
going to happen.
Yeah, and again, the you got to understand the game being played. Whether I mean, again, sometimes people rail against the machine. It's like, guys, why do you get so frustrated at the machine? Just understand the machine, right? Wall Street's got money to put to work. The engine that they rely on is transactions, both refi and purchase. That engine has been sputtering all year. They have capital that has to be deployed that, oh, by the way, is tied to their bonus. Let's not forget these these capitalists have bonuses tied to these things. And it all resets in the new year.
Yeah.
So of course they're going to get skinny to deploy this last bit of capital. And it'll be so funny if this really comes to be and we have DSCR loans below 5.5 and I just said we're going to do that. That I will smile from ear to ear if that happens next week. DSCR loans below 5.5. Because again, I was trying to play the game and I thought 5.5 would be crazy. Now we're going to 5.3 maybe.
Yeah.
And I guess the one question I have, and obviously that will certainly be for purchases. Do you think that will also be for refis? Maybe rate and term, maybe cash out. Do you think they'll go sub 5.5 for a refi and a cash out maybe?
It's going to be available for everybody that's willing to pay the price, right? Like you might be able to do a
Okay.
60% cash out. And I'm saying hypothetically, don't
Yeah,
call
because
me
it's not inked
when you
yet.
have
Yeah,
this.
it's not
Yeah.
inked. Yeah.
We're there close enough, but like you might be able to do a 60% cash out with a 5-year prepay at 5.3 starting next week, which might be the same as a 75% purchase with the 5-year prepay, right?
Right.
It might
Yeah.
be, but that's what's crazy is just the fact that yes, they got to deploy capital before the end of the year. And they're willing to trade because, believe it or not, secret. Everybody knows it though, so it's not a secret. There's been a lot of margin on these loans.
They've
Okay.
been fat. Yes.
They have been really fat and they are okay. When you go from 6 to 5.3, it isn't like they're just cutting their margin by 60 bit. They're cutting their margins by 70 or 80% of what it used to be
Right.
just to make sure that they can deploy the capital, like you said, by the end of the year.
Yeah. This is wild. This is going to be it's going to be fun to watch because the other thing I said weeks ago is I believe we're on the cusp of a mortgage rebound. We've already seen the rate and term refi start, and it's clear it's happened, right? Refis were up 20% year on year, every week, seemingly. One week they were up 108%.
Yeah.
So rate and term, 2-1 buy downs, which I thought were stupid. People got lucky, so they're getting out of those. Hard money, they're getting out of that. Then you get to cash out refi. And I have always thought cash out refis need to be sub 6. But if these are big ifs, right? Big bold letters. If we go sub 5.5, dude, we've got $38 trillion in home equity that I've already said, I think $1 trillion is coming out in the next 12 months if we get there. And then the last thing I'll say is if we really do get mortgage rates below 5.5, you can get move up buyers moving. Now, again, I don't think this happens with DSCR loans. It'll be weeks. It won't be months, right? Because once the year's over, the year's over. And then everything goes back. But, this is just going exactly how I expected it to go.
And
And
what's
it's going to be fun to watch.
I know it doesn't apply to the majority in terms of the conventional, and I'll just throw this little out there curveball, but like we do have and used to do quite a bit of government VA FHA stuff, right?
Right.
You can do those FHA VA streamlines right now. Hold on to your seat. Sub 5, 4,
Shut
6,
up.
4, 7 on a streamline or a VA EARL, that interest rate reduction loan. Okay. We had a client actually on Thursday that made it last Thursday, because then we did a little marketing piece on Friday. Okay, he was a past client of ours. He told me his goal was, look, I've got 3 years left in Florida. I need to just ride this out until I end up moving back to Europe. I want the lowest payment possible. He's got family that he's going to take over in Europe. He didn't care about doing an ARM because he knew he was going to sell this.
Yeah, he's going to be out. Yeah.
He's doing a 3-1 ARM, okay, on a VA EARL, so that no appraisal, no income, just lower rate at 4.1. Okay. Yes, it's an ARM. Yes, it's a government product. Yes, you have to be a veteran. But the fact that we're talking anything that has
in
a
the 4.
Yeah, it was 499 we spoke about a month ago for about a week on conventional. That went gone. But the FHA VA, like if you are looking to buy your first home, if you are a veteran, if you got an FHA loan a year ago, 2 years ago, I promise you it does not hurt to look at what are those streamlined, what do those EARL options look like? Because you can build in a no cost refi, all that
just
fun
done.
stuff. It's a no brainer. Yeah.
Yeah, if you got a VA FHA loan, folks, do me a favor, reach out to Convoy. It's they can take care of you, lickety split. This is crazy. Again, DSCR loans sub 5.5 potentially next week. That's wild to me. That's still crazy. Yeah. If somebody wanted to get started with you, what do they do?
Go to convoyhomeloans.com. Just make sure that you click the drop down to mention you came from ORAT.
Again, folks, convoyhomeloans.com, right there on the screen, little drop down says, where'd you hear? Say say one rental at a time or ORAT. Why is that important? it's important because you want to talk to this young man or his partner, Jonathan. This is Dustin. You talk to his partner, Jonathan. If you don't tell him you came from ORET, you will not get the super secret special sauce. You will be stuck in a queue. You will get some dweeb in a cube. You want to deal with the president or the CEO, deal with the guys at the top. They'll take care of you. Dustin, you're amazing. Take care. And send me a text once you get the first person below 5.5. I want to, or the first person to do it, because that's wild that might actually
We'll
happen.
let you know, and we'll be back here next week, so you'll know in real time too.
There you go. Thanks, buddy. Take care.
Thanks, Mike.